Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, your bartender in the OSR, Eric Tenkar, and this is Tavern Chat. So I don't normally talk about real life events going on in my life because usually real life you don't care about. It's not interesting, but this was interesting because I had a real life quest today. Uh, I get a phone call. Actually, my mother gets a phone call. It's a two-family home. I think I mentioned that before. My parents live downstairs. As they get older, they are the responsibility of Rach and I. But they are very, very active. And my father at 79 was out uh, beach hunting. You know what beach hunting is? He was out metal detecting in the Rockaways. And he found some like 50 caliber shells, probably from the Coast Guard from God knows when. And he saw a duck at the edge of the water. The tide was coming in. And he got closer and he sees the duck you see on the screen here was all tangled up in fishing line. So he took out his pocket knife, and the duck was exhausted, did nothing as he cut the line free from the duck, and thought he was going to just leave the duck there, but the duck didn't move. It was alive, not moving. So God bless my father with his metal detector and his big, huge metal scoop, and about a mile away from where he parked his car, picks up this duck, takes his equipment, walks back to his car with this duck on the screen, as you see, this wild animal, back to his car, puts the duck on the floor of the back seat, and starts driving back to the house. And halfway there, calls my mother and says, "Hey, I got a surprise. I'm coming back with a duck that was injured, and we need to know what to do with it." So, father came home, and all of a sudden, the family had a quest because we have this duck that you can see. We did a search like, what do you feed wild ducks? So you can feed them oatmeal. You can feed them other kinds of bird seed. Well, apparently, this duck wouldn't be eating that because this duck is a waterfowl that it generally fishes. So this was an interesting. The duck, him, her. I guess I'll call it they, them for now. We don't know the gender. So Rach starts making phone calls. We find the box that we get some of our prepared meals in every week, perfect size. My parents again are putting stuff into the box with the duck. Uh, Rach calls our local vet. They want nothing to do with it because obviously it's your local vet. But they did mention the Wild Bird Fund. The Wild Bird Fund, by the way, is a not for profit. It's a non-profit wildlife rehabilitation education center at 565 Columbus Avenue in New York City. And pretty much they're open to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. Uh, you can bring injured wild fowl, wild birds to them. You don't need to call to make an appointment. They will take, but I would advise calling first to let them know what's going on.
Just don't bring any bats.
Don't bring any bats.
They would take bats.
Bats are mammals, folks. Just so you know, they don't fall into the same category. But when we were there, the Parks Department was bringing in a wounded goose, a wounded goose. It was one. So um, now I'm on my computer. I am now looking up the address and the phone number for this wild bird fund. Rach is calling, leaving a message. She got contacted back by real quickly by text message. I've got the whole route in my phone. We're ready to go. Got to load the bird up. I got to afraid that the bird is getting a little bit more energetic now. Still looked like he was injured. So I pulled the flaps of the box toward the middle so he could get air and still kind of see out without the ability of the bird flying anywhere. I've had experiences with birds you didn't think could fly, chickens, flying into trees when they were panicked. So just trying to play it safe here. And then we had a family excursion into, I guess, the west side of Manhattan with this bird. And it was all of us coming together to do what needed to get done to give this animal the best chance of survival. Um, and it's because we all came together as a team, as a group, as a party, as a family, right? Everybody had their role to pick. Mine was at this point was going to be to drive down there. I didn't expect to find parking because it's Manhattan. If you know anything about Manhattan, parking so that doesn't really apply to Manhattan. So it was a good karma day. It made us all feel good, and of course, being the gamer that I am, being the DM that I am, I'm like, wow, this little event became a very, not just a major event, but a very feel good event. And I don't know if we offer enough feel good events in our gaming material in our campaigns. Sure, you defeat the bad guys, all that stuff, but what if it's just saving the life of this innocent creature, right? I mean, again, my father, God bless him. He uh, some people are just going to see that and go, "Oh, he was curious enough to make sure. Listen, I need to know if this animal's dead or alive. It's alive, and it's caught up in this in this fishing line. Let me do what I need to do to give this animal a chance." And when he saw the animal was alive but not really moving, had no energy, he just couldn't leave it. And that, dare I say it, is the type of situation that you want to put your player characters into. You want to put them into a position where they can make the decision. Don't force it on them, but you put them into that position where they have to make the decision. And then it doesn't feel like the quest was forced upon them. It feels like they decided on their own to embark on something for the greater good or the good of this innocent creature. It's beautiful. Rach, do you remember what the duck breed was?
It's called a common scoter.
It's a common scoter. Very dark.
They dive for fishes.
They dive for
That's
fishes.
why their beak and body are built that way.
It wasn't a very large. I've seen larger ducks, and I think mallards run a little bit larger.
This one is small for its breed. It looks like.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's younger, but yeah. So that was my good deed for the day. Maybe the good deed for the week. Who knows? But it feels good. You want your players to get those kinds of emotions, and you can draw those emotions out in the game. Believe it or not. And I think we should strive to do so once in a while. That's what makes these things memorable. So we didn't have the duck long enough to name them, and my father already has a cockatiel named Lucky.
A boy.
Oh, it's a boy.
This one's a boy because the females don't have this bright beak.
That's the one bright feature on this bird. Otherwise, this bird is
right.
Very, very dark. Interesting.
I think their beaks are white or something.
Interesting. Well, so folks, you know, you want your players, you want your PCs to take this stuff upon them willingly. You want them to feel like they initiated the idea to some extent, and I think that is something to think about as we step into the new year shortly. 2023 is right around the corner. Just a little idea on how to make your gaming just a little bit deeper, a little bit more impactful on your players. So, live stream. I'm not sure about tomorrow's live stream. Technically, tomorrow should be a night off. All right, it's the fifth Friday of the month, but I will talk to Glenn, see what he wants to do. Saturday, Rach and I are seriously considering. Rach, have we decided?
I think we still need time.
All right, where give us some feedback. We are thinking about doing a live stream, kicking it off on Saturday night at 11:30, and have it go on to, I don't know, maybe shortly after 1, so we catch midnight for the East Coast. We catch midnight then maybe for Central, and see who wants to share it with us. Just an idea. For Gamers Health, we normally do our live stream on Saturday at 8, but we may do it later because of the new year. So, folks, leave your comments, your feedback in below in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I know I never say that. But seriously, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's the only way we get to know if we're reaching people and if we're getting you feedback. The Substack is down below. That's how you get updates on a weekly basis. There was no Substack this week. Honestly, it was Christmas week. There was enough going on. I figured you didn't need any more mail. But we will have the Substack come out to begin the new year, probably Sunday or Monday. All right, folks. On that note, I'm out of here. Laters.